tune into CAN TV, and I have my lovely guest here who I think may be just a little nervous. But thank you for tuning in to Turn the Pages. I'm your host, Jordan Rivers. And so last week, for some of you who may not have tuned in, we talked to Mrs. Simmons, who is a teacher, a math teacher at a Chicago public school. And we went over a lot of how parents can actually support the teachers in the school system and how the community can come together for the kids. The kids are always the most important that we do have in a school is very important. So every episode that we have here for Turn the Pages, it all boils, goes right back to the kids and what's best for them. So last week I did mention, what did I say? I said favorable and unfavorable parents. You have teachers who have to deal with a lot of issues when they're teaching. They are the mother, the father, just the everything for that child in those 7 or 8 hours that they are there with that teacher. And having parent support is so important. So because we did have Mrs. Simmons in last week, I definitely wanted to have a favorable parents, I believe, in the studio. So we're just relaxing, having a little fun, but we're definitely going to go straight into business. So we have Crystal Alexander. So let me introduce you to the world. Her son Evan is actually in the Turn the Pages campaign. And so Turn the Pages, as we discussed in the very first episode, we are a nonprofit organization where we encourage literacy. So I go to schools and I do book readings, and I take pictures with the children on red carpet and do book signings at the schools, libraries, and bookstores that we do visit. So her son Evan is one of the kids that were picked out in the casting call, and he is definitely one of the sweetest kids that I know, and definitely full of energy and life. But it was great to actually meet Crystal and her family and create a village within what we have. And so I had to definitely bring her into the studio to talk about parenting, especially when you have children who are in school. So I want to get into the very first question that I have for you. What are some things that your child has probably struggled with academically?
Math.
Math.
Math is his weakness. But now he's on point.
He's on point. Okay, so what did you do to actually help him or support him and the teacher?
I would I go to like Dollar Store or Dollar General or like Walmart, and I'm always looking for like little workbooks to help him to do stuff at home. So it usually costs $1, $2, or go to Five Below, and he loves those little workbooks. And at school they try to get him extra pages to do, and because I don't know, he just loves those little workbooks, and it helps him a long way because it's fun for him too.
Okay, so were you working with him on a regular basis, or was it a Monday through Friday? Did you give him extra work on the weekends? What was your routine?
Well, Monday in this past year, I've let him do his homework on Monday because he gets it done so quickly and it's so easy. I said, okay, well, I'm going to use Tuesday through Friday to do extra stuff like work with math, science, his states, his presidents, stuff like that, because I try to prepare him for the upcoming year because I never know what the teacher is going to teach.
Okay, and you said he finishes his homework on a Monday. So is it a packet of homework or is it a sheet of homework? Okay, so he gets a packet of homework, and so he finishes all of it in one day.
Yes.
And how long does that normally take for him to finish a packet of homework?
At his level, it takes him maybe 30 minutes. 30. If it takes him a little longer, if he's not sure what it is, if it's something new, then it takes him maybe extra 10 minutes maybe. Okay. Because once he gets it now, it's kind of like a quick type of thing for him.
Okay. So, with these packets of homeworks, and I had an idea. Do you reiterate what the teacher gives him during the week? And I know you're doing your own thing with him with the packets that you create, but you do go over everything.
Oh,
right?
yes, I definitely. The teachers will tell you I'm one of them progressive, aggressive parents. Every day I go in there asking, what is he struggling? If he's struggling, let me know. Because now I meet Wednesday with his math teacher, Mrs. Owens.
Okay.
And now she's going to give the report of how he's doing. And because on his grades, he needs to pull that grade up.
Okay.
But his teachers, I'm always asking, they actually try to kick me out the class sometimes.
Oh, because you want to go in.
Especially in the morning. But anyway, they definitely, well, with reading, I don't have an issue with, actually.
Okay.
Because his teacher's his reading teacher actually is trying to do a little bit more extra on the side with him at school because she noticed he's way above
his reading level.
His reading and grade level. So he's like on the second, third grade reading level. So I never have to worry about that. But as far as everything else, his teachers say, oh, he's just fine. So, but I keep asking because maybe that one time that it may be something different. So they do appreciate when I do ask, though.
Okay, well, that's great. That means mommy and daddy are doing very well at keeping him reading on a regular basis. So that's something that's definitely appreciated on my end because I just love to hear about kids who love to read. Mm-hmm. So obviously he does if he's advanced. Okay, so in your opinion, last week I spoke with Mrs. Simmons about school funding and how that affects her as a teacher, and we kind of touched around like the parents and how a parent may be of some support. So I wanted to know from you, do you feel like your school is lacking financially in any way?
Not in a big way, but as far as my son's classroom, I definitely, actually me and his friends that's in another class, his mom, we're like, hey, if you need anything done, let us know. Like, right now, she's doing, like, their testing, so she'll, help them with the testing, and we'll volunteer to put up their boards, if they doing, like, some kind of theme, like Christmas or Black History, like, anything they need, we definitely just
there to help and support.
Right, volunteer, because that definitely, it does make their day. It does, and they are so grateful when we as parents come in to help for just even an hour.
Okay.
Or 30 minutes, because one of the teachers like, well, a few teachers need help, and just an hour, 2 hours of your time, it definitely helps them. Cause
a little bit goes a long way. It really does.
They go through a lot.
I'm sure they do, and they need your support, so that's always a great thing. So how do you see a lot of other parents in your child's school, being able to help the teachers in the way that you and, a few of the other parents help out? Is it a school just full of supportive parents, or do you have maybe a couple every classroom?
It's not, a lot of them, no. It's usually me and his brother's friend feel like it's just the same parents. And it's very violent, and it's triggered, throughout the school. And because some kids, they don't have one parent in the home, or they, don't have that extra support. So we just try to lend the extra hands that we can, so they know that when we're there. But yeah, it's not a lot, and it's sad because those kids need it.
They do. Do you think that the schools should make a mandatory volunteer policy for all the parents? Do you feel like it's unfair for you to have to volunteer? Because of course I know you love your child. You're doing it for your child. You've obviously started a relationship with, is it Miss Owen?
That's his math teacher. His homeroom teacher is Mrs. Huskell.
Mrs. Huskell? Huska. So you started a relationship with his teachers, which is very important. But do you feel like sometimes it's too much on you, that more parents need to be involved? And if it was ever an issue, would you be ready to speak up to other parents and say, hey, we need you in this classroom?
Oh yes. I do see more support when it comes to like field trips, and I've met a few other parents. But as far as just on a regular basis, no. But like they have at Evans School, they have like where dads will come in and read to the kids or come volunteer, and that made their day. Even at home, like 5-10 minutes with a child does mean more to them than anything.
Absolutely.
So just coming in, just saying hi, I pick their head in, to a teacher will mean a lot. So, and I think it should be more, but
it should
it's not
be
a lot on me.
It should definitely be more. I feel like in certain areas, in certain schools, you have 100% parent participation, and it makes the difference of the funding of the school, the kind of textbooks you get, because some schools may have outdated textbooks. So a little bit goes a long way, and I just feel that every parent, if you have 1 hour a week to just donate that time to your child's school, build a relationship, just 1 hour a week, it's not that hard. But we do understand that learning does start at home. And so Evan is in what grade now? Kindergarten. So how did you prepare him for kindergarten? Did he go to a preschool program?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So with the preschool program, what ways did you help prepare him for preschool and kindergarten? Because I know that a lot of the preschool programs are starting to become popular to be in different schools, because it was one point of time there were not a lot of preschool programs, and so now you kind of see them trickling in. So I'm guessing we have a little more funding here in Chicago. But we do have a caller. Let's take this caller. Hello.
Hi, Jordan. I was reading an article recently about, I think it might be charter schools or something about teachers getting paid in relation to how well their students do academically. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
So you want to know if I think teachers should be paid
that would be effective?
I think it would. I definitely think it would be effective. And mostly because the teacher would be able to put their hand right on the problem and fix it immediately. Of course, when your money has been affected, you're going to do everything you possibly can. But two, it's not just on the teacher. They do have to have a support system, so they can do as much as they can. But if the parents don't reiterate what they're learning in school and they don't have that parent support, then it may still affect them. So I'm all, for teachers getting paid, especially when the children are learning and the test scores are great, but they do have to have a support system at home in order for the children to be successful as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That was a great question.
I definitely agree that teachers should get paid more, because I see it through his teachers every day, how they just be like, and I'm like, one of those days, and that's what makes me just push harder to just work with them and just say, hey, what are you teaching them at school? And then I just take that at home so it's on the same page with the teachers, because it does make it easier, and they see a difference, and the child feels like they're going in knowing something and feel more confident, like, okay, I'm not on a different page than everybody else. They feel like, okay, well, I'm on track with what my teacher is teaching me. So
right.
And I've never been against whatever they're teaching them, because he's learning what he's supposed to.
Exactly. How do you feel about the classroom size? I know one of the big issues that we have in a lot of school systems are the sizes of the classrooms. So what does the size of Evan's classroom look like? Is it over 30? Is it 15?
It's about 30 kids.
Would you say that's a lot, like too many kids for one teacher?
Because there is a teacher assistant in the classroom, and then he also, because there's like a special need, or somebody that learns on a different level, he has a person that comes in every day with him. Okay. So it's kind of technically like 3 teachers in the classroom, so there's extra body in there that helps. And it does help when it's at least maybe 3 adults in the classroom. It does help because it can, while the main teacher is doing her thing, you know, the assistant can have help trying to get the other kids that's maybe a little rough on the edges. But it definitely makes a difference.
Okay.
But the size is not too much unless it's at least 2 to 3 adults, I say would be
Okay,
more
so
helpful.
so if that teacher had no other help, then it would be an issue.
Oh, yeah.
So
Because they can't keep eyes on
all 30 kids
while one
at
kid's
one
over
time.
here, kid over there, kid over there, kid back there, and they, you know, they answer for. So I think
Okay.
at least 2 to 3 adults it does make a difference.
And when you volunteer at a school, are there rules or limits to what you can do? Are you grading papers? Are you making
Oh, no.
copies? Are you in the classroom? Are you, you know, watching kids and their behavior?
Oh, they give us everything, you know, it's no limit. So whatever the school needs help, we go to whatever teacher needs help and in the whole school. My thing is I try not to go in Evan's classroom per se as much because I know how my kid is. And I know he's a little lovey-dovey.
He's okay.
Let's put it that
So
way.
he'll love mommy being in the
Right,
classroom.
so
and
I like to kind of steer away from that and go in other places. And if he sees me, he sees me. And then, you know, I like for him to focus.
I can definitely, you know, see Evan being that way.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to get into like work schedule, family life. How do you maintain? Is it stressful to balance having a child in school and then having your own personal life? Are you tired? Are you stressed? In this day and time, we are dealing with parents who are overworked, underpaid, just as well as the teachers. So it's very important that our parents have time for themselves, but they also have to have time for children. And I know I am definitely speaking from experience when a parent is stressed out. Sometimes you may yell or, you know, and if you yell at your child when you're trying to teach them, the one thing that they do is they
Freak out.
freak out
They're
and they
nervous.
then they're nervous, they don't want to respond, they're scared to respond. So how do you deal with Evan helping him when you're under stress?
I just try to look at myself at this point and how I used to yell at him. I used to, you know, because he wouldn't get it. But now I just try to, you know, put myself in his shoes and say, hey, okay, let's look at a different approach of how it's going to make it easy for him to figure it out. So now it's becoming an easier technique where it's not stressful for neither one of us because I'm more calmer, more relaxed, and even though I go to school and his dad go to work, his dad, you know, comes home and doesn't mind spending those few minutes with him. And with me, I just use my time while he's at school. So when I pick him up, my time is on him until he goes to bed because my main focus is just making sure he's good. Homework, fed, and together and ready for the next day.
I think two parent households, you can definitely appreciate, you know, that having that spouse there. That's, you know, family is definitely important. Some people co-parent and everything, so it's great that your husband is playing an active role, not just in his life, but really in education, because your kids need to see themselves and have that example. So the fact that there is a man in the home and, you know, he's saying, do your homework or let me help you, then that's definitely a plus. So I'm going to go into my monkey see, monkey do moment. So kids do what they see their parents do. So I'm going to ask you, and I want you to be as truthful as possible. How often do you read every day?
Who, me or him?
You.
Oh, me, I read. Oh, I ain't gonna tell that lie.
How
I'm
often
on
are you
vacation.
reading? You're on vacation. Okay. What was the last book that you read? What was the last thing that you read?
I can't even tell you.
Okay. And so I definitely want to encourage you as well as other parents, if you want your child to read, to learn, they have to see you do
Wait a
it.
minute, I do know.
Okay, what book was it?
His favorite, Paw Patrol.
Oh, okay. So you were reading to him. Look, whether you're reading on your own or with your child or having them read to you is very important. So if we have any more callers, please call now because we only have a few minutes left. But I do, if you have any questions or if you would like to be a guest on Turn the Pages, you can definitely go to www.turn-the-pages.org. Email me at info@turn-the-pages.org. So I'll leave that up for about 2 more seconds. So if you have anything that you're interested in speaking about, or if you feel like you would be a great guest for the show and you are passionate about literacy and education, I would love to have you here. So we have only a few minutes left, and I'm always finding myself trying to, do I want to talk about this because we don't have enough time. So I want to ask, when it comes to homework, you said a packet, and what are your science projects like? Because, and I want you to be honest with me, how many times have you completed your child's homework?
Neither.
Neither. Okay. You sure? Because sometimes in frustration.
You want to ask him?
No, we can handle this right here. But sometimes parents get so frustrated that they're like, just give me the paper. Just give me the paper.
Oh no.
And so I just want to know if you've ever had one of those moments where you're like, you know what, I'm tired. I don't have time to deal with you right now. And I just, because that, your child never learns anything. So I just wanted to ask, because I just knew you would be completely honest with me.
Oh no, he'll show me. I'll show him how to do it, and I say, "Here, go over there to your table." And he go sit at the table, and he go get it done. I try to get him that trust and trust him, because I'm trying to get dinner or something done. I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to get him learn that trust. Like, I don't want to stand over his shoulder every
and you want him to be you want him to learn how to be responsible, and that's important. So I have a question here that I want you to answer, because I know we're winding down on time. What is your idea of your child's village? Who makes up your child's village, and how does that strengthen him?
Oh, he's got you. He's got your team. He's got his grandparents. He's got his daddy. He's got me. He's got his friends that's on the same level as him. Because what he's doing, we're pushing him to be with friends that's on his level, but he also teaches kids that's not on his level. And his other, I don't know, all his family.
And so that support encourages him to, make good grades. And
especially his grandparents, they try to help out a little bit, especially his grandfather would do like some math, or he'd like give me something, where he'll find a workbook for him while he's at their house, and they'll do it together. And, now he's learning how to count money and stuff like that. So that's why I see the improvement in school, and I thank them all the time.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? You have to give him, like, one of those little money sets so he can practice. Oh, my gosh, I still play with those myself. Don't tell anyone. But, educational problems are, like, really great to have. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for our wonderful guest, Crystal Alexander. So if you would like to be on the show, have some questions that you want to throw our way, you can definitely visit our website at www.turn-thepages.org and info@turn-thepages.org. So I definitely hope that you tune in next week, because we have another special guest, and we are going to be talking about Black History Month and how Black history will affect our children in a positive way in our school system when we have it. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Jordan Rivers, and this is Turn the Pages.